This is Morten from INKISH TV. Today I have the pleasure to talk to Mr. Stephan Plenz. I think that most of you know of Stephan and he's been with Heidelberg for many years, and since he left Heidelberg he's been consulting for quite some interesting companies, some controversial, some less controversial, to my great pleasure and a little bit of a surprise, honestly. Just some months ago, I can't remember, but Stephan can tell me, then Stephan became the managing director of Actega and responsible for the introduction to the market of the Ecoleaf, which is basically a Landa technology that Actega bought some years ago. And when I wrote to Stephan this morning and asked if he wanted to talk to me, instantly said yes, and here we are. Stephan, welcome to INKISH. So how are you, my friend?
Doing great, doing good. Using my time in different companies, as said, mostly for Ecoleaf, because I think it's a wonderful technology. So we definitely will talk about that, what sustainability means to me in private life, but also in business life. And here we have a great chance to have a disruptive technology which is really sustainable. And this is what I'm looking for after my first life in the industry. Now I have a second life,
right?
Fully focused to sustainability and the future of this little planet.
Before we go into details about both the sustainability agenda and also the Ecoleaf itself and also the opportunities in the market there, maybe you should, to the audience, just give a little bit of an explanation. What is Actega? What kind of company is it? How big is it? What does it do? What is it known for?
Yeah, Actega, I think, is well known in the industry. Everybody knows it, and most of them, like you say, what are they doing? So Actega, first of all, is part of the Altana group. Might be well known as well in Germany, a big investment group and having several factories and companies. Actega is one big portion of that, producing coatings, inks, compounds, sealants, adhesives, so a lot of different products. Terra maybe is one of the well-known brands. Bück is one of everybody who uses additives knows Bück. It's part of the family. So a company that is supporting the industry, the graphic arts industry in many ways. And 2017, as mentioned, they invested into technology of Ecoleaf, developed by Landa Labs, using pigments directly to the substrates and not using foil anymore. That is the idea. And since then, been developed, moved to Germany, ramped up a small factory, having research and engineers on that, and showed it to the market, to the world at the Label Expo 2019. Since then, beta tests are out, and now we are ready to sell to the market, go into production, and have real customers producing labels for the world with it.
With that introduction to your company, I can't help think about that. Maybe that is why it came as a surprise to me, because when you look at Ecoleaf, of course it's consumables, and of course it is chemicals that is going into, which is like the domain of Actega already. But to develop a machine, that is to have hardware, that is pretty new, isn't it?
Yeah, you need to hire some people who have done it before. That's maybe a reason why I entered the door. And actually, they asked me to consult them and to support them already in 2020, October 2020. I started it. 1 year later, October last year, they asked me to take over the general management position because Jan Franz Allerkamp, well known in the industry as well, moved into the packaging segment of Actega, selling this to the world. Now we are in the phase where this machine is not only developed and shown, but produced and shipped to customers. So industrialization of the whole process, stability of the whole process is getting as important as the function itself. And that's why we have the right people on board now to get that done.
And I would say that when you have a brand new breakthrough in technology, of course, you need the experience from the people that is both on the development side and the sales side, but you also need the strength, financial strength of a company that can actually bring it to the world, because this is about service. This is about distribution. This is about all the things that make sure that a technology can become successful, right?
But that's the beauty of having a startup like that in an environment like Actega, where they're selling masses to the industry. So we have sales and service organizations around the world. And when we do our startup, now we will show at Label Expo in the US also our unit together with our partner ABG. And then we have the Actega organization over there already. So we know how to serve the market, how to deal with that. And sales and service, as you know, is as costly and as critical as development on its own.
100%.
But there's a very good foundation and we have good people on that. So I'm pretty sure now the rollout can start and we'll hear a lot from that.
We talk about the technology, but I think it's, as I said to you, I was really pleased when I saw you in your position with the Ecoleaf and Actega. But you have also been good at attracting some other really industry. Paul Grasso, who comes from Omed. You have people that knows the flexible market, the labels markets. Your background I take that you were very involved in the Prime Fire and you know the technology from using inkjet technology. So it seems also that you have been good at attracting a team that can back up both sales, market knowledge, and the technology side, right?
Yeah, we have a very strong team. Small team dedicated to the things you have to do. The whole production we do with external people, good people as well. Besides Paolo, we have Harald Jasper on top, well known, been many years in the flexo industry, been with several companies there. So we have. I've been president for Gallus for 5 years, so label market is not new to me as well.
I know.
So the whole idea is to get that technology, which is sustainable metallization, embellishment. Really, you need embellishment for brands, and the best way of sustainability is doing nothing. If you want to do marketing, you want to have it shiny and glossy. And instead of using foil, you use Ecoleaf and you have a sustainable chance to do metallization and to use this embellishment to sell more products. And to get that message and that technology really to the mass market. We're not talking about a niche product. We're talking about thousands of tons of foil to be eliminated. This is our target, and therefore we gathered a very strong team together and trying to get it now to a successful market launch.
And I read on your website, I saw that you had some quite good explanations of what it does, and just to make sure that people understand it. Basically, instead of having the foil that carries the metallization, you basically have a carrier print that can be anything, and you do that carrier print in flexography, in screen print, or in digital, right? And basically, that carrier print is I wouldn't say, maybe it is right to say it's a kind of an adhesive to where the actual metallization takes place on the thing. And you also shown that it is both possible to do it as an overprint thing, but also to do it as the underprint or whatever you call it. So it's both. It's both a technology that can be seen as a kind of replacement of potential in cold foil, but also in hot foil, right?
Absolutely. It has this potential, and on top of cold foil and hot foil applications, we are already starting with the first customers and thinking about what can be done on top of that, or what is the next big thing. Cold foil is existing now for 60, 70 years, and over time it got developed to the level where it is today. What you do with Ecoleaf is basically you take the same metal flakes you put usually on a foil, you keep them separate, have them in a fluid, put them on a roller, we call it donor, and then you put the substrate to the donor and only take the flakes you want to have as metallization. All the rest stays in the system and gets reused until you need that.
So it's not even...
The image, what we call the trigger image, can be printed in whatever you want. That is exactly the beauty of it. It can be digital, rotary screen, flatbed screen, flexo. You have the full flexibility, and you keep the flakes in the system as long as you need them, and you only print what you need.
But
you don't throw away the carrier, you don't throw away pigments, you keep everything. on the system.
So basically, just to make sure that I understand 100%, when you look at some of the other, let's say, digital embellishment machines in the market, basically they use inkjet technology for printing this, but this is not what you do. It's actually very analog. So basically, the secret is the trigger image and the process that basically takes the metallization to that trigger image, right?
Exactly. When it comes to metallization, inkjet has a fundamental problem. Metallization is coming from pigments that are
too big, basically, right?
Long, flat, and thin. And when you try to press these through a nozzle, you can basically bet when it's got blocked. So there is a silver ink to be inkjetted, but it's never like metal. What we are doing is basically replacing the foil, just using the metal flakes and put them directly to the substrate to get to the result you want.
So basically, where the foil in hot foil and cold foil today is used as a carrier for the metallization, you basically have the fluid as a carrier for the metallization using Ecoleaf.
And the roller.
And the roller, yeah.
Exactly.
So if I should be the devil's advocate, because I totally agree with you that the foil, of course, is a potential huge environmental thing if it's not reused. But I think actually that both Foilco and Kurz and some, maybe not the Chinese ones, but at least the two Europeans that I know of, that they have recycle schemes and basically recollect. So is that what you? So you're not claiming that everything just goes into pollution. You're just claiming that you have a solution where you eliminate that kind of thing, right? Or
and it's great what they do. Don't get me wrong. Kurz is a great company, and the others are. We don't argue about that.
I was not trying to have that argument either. So,
the recycling of the foil is the step in the right direction. What is the percentage of foil that really gets recycled? What is the percentage of pigments that really get again into the process? And you already have spoiled the energy to do so.
Yeah, that's true.
And you need to transport it from A to B to do it again. So if you don't need the foil at all, that's much better than trying to recycle it and transport it around the world and do the recycling. You need energy again. And so that's why Ecoleaf is so disruptive. You don't have the foil anymore. And if you take that comparison, 1 kilogram of Ecoleaf flakes is an equivalent of 3,000 kilos of foil in cold foil, which is 20,000 kilos of carbon footprint and nearly 1,000 trees. So everybody who's printing that should still plant 1,000 trees. That's all good. But the equivalent is so big and you can save so much. It doesn't save the world alone, but it's
a step in the right direction. If you think of
right direction, exactly. It's always better to eliminate than trying to reuse and try to get it back. You don't need that.
As you mentioned before, the foiling technologies has been around for a long time and is well used in many different kinds of applications and technologies today. When you now describe the downsides, in your opinion, about the sustainability thing and basically the carrier, which doesn't serve any other purpose than carrying, what is would you be in a position where you could say that you have identified any downsides on the Ecoleaf way of doing things? I'm not asking you to downgrade your own.
The only downside is that we don't have 1,000 units in the market already.
But that's your job.
I wouldn't put it so big. I mean, when we get 10% of the market in the next 3 years, it's already great. There's potential for more. We can basically do it all, and for sure, you can think of the future of Ecoleaf will not stop at labels.
No.
But we have to take one technology after the other and get it done because it's a very small team working on that and then developing it. Cost-wise, it's the same or less. So the process can be done. You as a printer, as a customer, you have to invest into that system first. That's clear. That's most of them do have their cold foil systems, but sustainability doesn't come for free.
No.
And we all have to change our behavior. And if we can convince, and we are really convinced we can, brands and big players in the market to go in that direction, then we are absolutely sure that this would just be the starting point of it. And this is when a brand decides for Ecoleaf, then we will see more units in the market, and then the offer gets bigger, and then it follows the next step.
So I will push you a little bit, Stephan, because then I would just say that basically what you say is that if you look at it from a technology side, there's only advantages using Ecoleaf, right?
Well, we do not have all the colors right now. So when you see all the foil colors, you can.
That is like a missing point, but that is just about time, basically, right?
We just started. Yeah. We are not yet 60 years in the market. We're just
So
there, and we need to produce enough flakes and enough stuff to get it into the market. That's why we just started with silver. Overprinting is possible, so you can get your gold, you can get your red, whatever you want. You can overprint with digital. That looks amazing. Can tell you beautiful samples on that. So there is a development, and there are always first runners, fast movers. They go on to that. They sell it right now to their customers. They are really at the front also on the customer side, and they look seriously into it and already published it. When you follow the news, you have seen
of course, that
one of the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing companies in the industry with all for label, very dedicated to sustainability and to digitization, clearly positioned Ecoleaf as one of their projects. Great team, great people. We had the discussion, we had them on our press event. So I think we have other big players as well. They already installed the second unit right now because they say, yes, we are moving in that direction. And now I'm talking about one of the, let's say, to be cautious, one of the three biggest players in the world. So it's moving in that direction. And when we have enough units in the field, I think then the disruption will take place.
That was one of the things I wanted to ask you, because the second thing I would like to ask you is that if you look at total cost of ownership and that part, because you mentioned now that moving into a more sustainable world do come at a cost. Is that because you're warning people already in advance that this is a more expensive technology than what they are using today, or is it just because that is, of course, something that people know, but they just have to be more aware that the sustainability agenda has a price?
Well, as we all know, the printing industry is not a one-trick pony. I mean, you have so many different applications, and you can find applications where cold foil is cheaper, this is cheaper, but in average, the Ecoleaf system is at the level of cold foil. So
what you're saying is that...
But you have to invest into it. But the TCO in the end is at the same range level. Sometimes we are lower, sometimes we are at the level. It depends very much on the coverage, on the foil, what needs to be done before, which screen do you use. So there are so many factors into it. But no, I'm not warning people that sustainability costs money. I just say we have to take an effort. You have to look into the technology. You have to invest. You have to convince your customers. But then you are a front runner. Then you can offer something to your customers which others can't. So you can offer to a brand saying, you want embellishment, you want to have it sustainable. Here is the solution now, but you need to do that step, otherwise we will not get to market.
The reason I'm asking is, of course, when you have technologies that, as you mentioned yourself, is well established in the market, the money that has been invested just, buying the technology from the Landa Labs and many years of development, I mean, it comes at a cost, basically, and there's only one to pay that cost, and that is, of course, the customer, at least over some time. And what I understand from when you spoke about Actega and as a company, basically you have the funding to be patient, so you don't need to have the repayment of your investment over a very short time of period. Is that also correctly understood?
I mean, this is most likely true for all these disruptive and startup technologies. If you have to pay back the invested money in 2 years, you better stop.
Yeah, you shouldn't start at all, right?
You need to see Actega from a different point of view. They have so many companies with the know-how we need, exactly that. Like the Actega Terra company, they have all the coatings for overprint, varnish, for primers, everything in-house. So they have the know-how, the people, and if we need to produce tons of that next year, we can just do it. That is the strength of Actega. In the end, every company needs to make money. That is for sure. But this comes, like with all these technologies, with volume. So we need to get units in the market, we need to get volume. and we don't want to. We can only make money when our customers
100%
make
as well,
money.
yeah.
So it's not that one single customer has to pay for our investment we did 5 years ago, 2017, into the Landa technology. It's the volume we are generating will over time pay back, but it's not the single customer investing.
The technology is, of course, proprietary to, and now you own all the secrets in this one. Is the idea, and I don't know if you can talk about it, but I'm just curious about it. Is the idea to have Actega as the main player in the market for this technology, or are you thinking of licensing it to third parties as well?
No, the Ecoleaf technology is not a standalone technology. It sits on other OEMs. So we will present it together with others. These are the well-known printing companies, the Gallus, Omets, Mark Ennis of this world. These are the finishing equipments. We start with ABG just right now. So these are the machines where our unit will sit on. So they will sell it
together. Okay.
With their
so
machines.
Basically,
on the other hand, you can retrofit to existing machines. You can use it wherever you have the space on the rail. So we will sell via our own channel. We will sell via these channels. We're very open to the market to team up with others to get this technology to the market, because we're so keen in seeing it out there. It's not that we need to sell every single unit. This is not our
second last round of things that I'm interested in. If you have anything you want to add, you just jump into it, of course, Stephan. If you look at the market, it's not a secret that in all industries we face a lot of challenges with the war, with inflation, with energy prices, and all those kind of things. Is that a bummer being a startup because basically when you look at the substrate prices, maybe some people will think that, okay, all the embellishment is maybe less important right now because we have to absorb price increases on substrates. Is that something that has influenced your go-to-market strategy? No. Okay, thank you for a very short answer. That was really nice. Thank you.
Well, I'm German. Sorry for that. So when you raise a question, you will get an answer. That is for sure. When I've been appointed being the board member for Heidelberg, 6 weeks later, Lehman crisis started, and I thought, wow, that is the worst thing that could happen. What I'm doing here. Since then, some other crisis coming and going, and the only thing that is changing is the speed of crisis coming up. So,
we have got our good fair share these years, right?
We have to be. If you ask me, it will not stop. So hopefully the war will stop. The other things, well, we have to live with that. We have a clear strategy, and this is not influenced by these factors. For sure, some companies might think of investing later or whatever needs to be done. But in the end, brand owners need to sell. And they want to have the most beautiful product on the shelf. And they all want to be sustainable. They have to be sustainable. I can't think of one of the big brands in 5 years from now saying, we don't care about sustainability.
And I was just about to say, Stephan, that when you say this, basically the company that may postpone investments in whatever technology, they will lose tension in the market because, as you say, the brand owners will require the great stuff, right? Yeah.
Here we are. So we didn't change our strategy. We are pushing it. We started in Europe. End of the year, we will start in the US. On the other hand, to be honest, we follow our customers. When these big customers say, but we need a unit here and there. So, okay. How can we do it?
We're covering the Label Expo in Chicago, so I look forward to see the machine in action, because it's always like the touch and feel is always more fun than just talk and videos, basically, right? So that would be fun.
Yeah, we will be there. You will find us at the Actega booth and at the ABG booth. So if you want to see unit samples, whatever, happy to share with you and everybody who's looking at video. Come and see us. And we have an open door in Hanover, so whoever wants to come and see what we are doing, it's not magic, it's not a secret, it's real production technology. People can buy and use.
Last question I have, and that is maybe not so much to Ecoleaf and to Actega. It's I think, as I mentioned to you before we turned on the recording, a lot of people have, of course, followed you as with interest, because you have been working in one of the really influential companies in the industry, from Heidelberg, to being a consultant right now. You mentioned yourself that you are involved with other companies. You are a member of the board of Tresu. You are, tell yourself a little bit what you're doing, Stephan.
Yeah, I'm still acting as a consultant. As said, I jumped into this position from that role and have an agreement that I'm allowed to do some consulting and some board memberships. And wherever a great technology is open, I try to support it. And I think Tresu is a wonderful company. Looking into that and the potential of it and what they can do, not only having ducted chambers, but also the big machines.
When I saw it the first time, I was just blown away. It's so huge.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Maybe one other piece to be released is that I'm for Altana now sitting as an observer in the board for Landa Digital Print, which is the other big disruptive technology, and I'm really looking forward to that and the steps moving forward. They're really improved heavily. I know you have also critical points on that, and we can talk about it, but every disruptive technology takes time. In the end, customers will vote and will use it. First, customers are using it and making money on it. So I think with the right steps to be done, this is clearly a technology that will enter the market heavily, and we will see many changes in the industry, that's for sure.
Stephan, this is Morten from INKISH. It was really super cool to talk to you here. It's been years ago since we met in person, but I hope that we will have the chance maybe in Chicago, maybe some other time. But it was great. Thank you very much for spending time with me here, and I hope everybody who watches this will enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Morten.